First of all, Paul, congratulations on the great honour which your fellow hoteliers have bestowed on you, electing you as their president for the next 2 years. And also, can I say on behalf of the wider tourism industry that we wish you all the very best of good luck in office. Mind you, you're taking over at a very difficult time for your sector. What are the big issues currently for hotels?
I suppose the issues are quite varied, and for small hoteliers they're very serious issues. Some of the key ones at the moment would certainly be the cost inputs in our businesses, and local authority charges in particular would be a very burning issue for the hotel sector, in that we'd pay 6% of the rate base, which is 90 million euros or 1,500 euros per room.
Staggering sum.
Staggering amount of money, and in tight times it's very hard to find that, and the cash flow isn't really there to provide that sort of money. A lot of hotels aren't even paying their rates bills of last year, so that will be one of the significant ones. Sure. Bank lending is another, and that's working capital. Not the ability to get hold of it is nearly impossible.
Lifeblood of an hotel, of course.
Yes, gone, completely gone, and banks have been very unreasonable in their approach to hotels. Those even with long-standing relationships are finding it even more difficult.
Yeah.
The other, I suppose, the flip side of that is we have a lot of hotel stock there that has been supported by banks that really wouldn't be very viable as a product in itself, and it is getting unfair support. And that is leading to some distress in the market, and that is very prevalent in the rates that we're commanding at the moment.
Yeah, that's a huge issue for the industry, isn't it? I mean, you reckon, and it's accepted, that there is at least 20% overcapacity in hotel rooms, or 12 to 15,000 bedrooms. How can you approach that in terms of looking for some form of solution?
It is very difficult, to be honest, for the Federation. A lot of the solutions that are in the Bacon report, those recommendations are outside of the control of the Federation to implement. To be honest, we would be asking for more regulation of the banking sector, and that the banks should be made recognise the bad debts that they have in the hotel sector. And those hotels that are non-viable, that have no place in our market, they're distorting the whole product, they're selling below cost, should be put out of existence.
Yeah, it's a real problem, it really is. Where did it all go wrong, Paul? I mean, I know that we don't want to start engaging in the blame game, but was it the developers, was it reckless lending by the banks, or was it misplaced over-enthusiasm by those of us in the industry?
I think it's a combination of all three. I think money was very cheap. We have a lot of vanity developers, mixed-use developments where the capital allowances would have been very attractive. They would have used probably some of the capital costs for apartments and put them into the hotels to claim even higher capital allowances. Yeah. These are the sort of issues I think we're facing at the moment. Yeah. And I think perhaps also one of the reasons we didn't really spot this was the domestic demand was so strong that there was sufficient demand in the system that the hotels that were being built were finding it easy enough to do business.
Yeah. I think that fooled us all, really, that it hid the fact that growth from our overseas market was not as buoyant as it ought to have been post 2001. But the problem now, of course, is that the domestic market itself will be in some state of disarray for a couple of years, probably.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, certainly with the budget cuts, public service and so on, the new levies on taxation, I mean, they are definitely having an effect. We are hopeful, though, I mean, that there's a new campaign, 4 million euros by FaulGallagher to grow the home market. But you're quite right. I think we have had a policy of sort of over-reliance on the home market, and we've a flat line of overseas visitors for the last 10 years. Sure. 900,000 less visitors to Ireland last year. I mean, these are substantial areas for us. Numbers, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, actually, the FaulGallagher new campaign is very exciting. It's been launched, as you know, you've seen it in about a week's time, and full marks of them. It's a terrific campaign, and will give people hopefully an incentive to stay at home. This is probably a desperately unfair question, Paul, to end with in your first day in office. But looking down the road 2 years from now when you're handing over to your successor, what do you hope will have happened in the next couple of years?
Well, I hope some of the correction is taking place in the market, that some of the hotels that shouldn't be trading are no longer trading, that working capital that is available to small hotels, that businesses that should have failed will have failed, businesses that should have succeeded will have succeeded, that we have a far stronger cohort within our sector of hotels, that we regain our high ground in terms of customer care and so on, and that we can look forward to growing visitor numbers and try to regain and regrow, I suppose, the fundamentals of our business. Yeah.
Well, that's terrific, and Paul, we wish you all the very best in achieving those very desirable outcomes over your term of office. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Emma.